Right now, somewhere in the world, a chef at a Michelin-starred restaurant is reaching for a plant that most people think doesn't exist. One of them tastes like cilantro on steroids, and it's almost impossible to find at a regular grocery store. And honestly, you could grow it in your backyard this weekend. Here, we talk about 15 plants that vanished from modern kitchens for no reason other than we forgot about them. Plants that ancient civilizations built entire cuisines around. Plants that medicinal traditions relied on for centuries. Plants so beautiful they look like they came from another planet. Most people have no idea these exist. The grocery store spice aisle, that's a museum of forgetting. 5 herbs, same ones, over and over. If you want to grow herbs that actually matter, plants that change how you cook, that make you look insane when you serve them, and that connect you to thousands of years of culinary history, this is the video. By the end, you'll understand why these plants disappeared and why they're coming back. Stick around because plant number 10 looks and tastes like something from another planet, and number 14 can literally make your mouth go numb. Subscribe now. Every week, we show you how to grow things that matter, plants that actually taste like something, plants that make you wonder why you ever paid for herbs at the store. Drop a comment. What's the weirdest herb you've ever tried? Let's get started.
We will start with plants that challenge what you think herbs look like. Number 1, Papalo, the giant Aztec herb. We're starting here because Papalo does something most herbs don't. It makes people stop and stare. The leaves are enormous, almost alien looking. They look prehistoric. Papalo is from Mexico. The Aztecs built entire flavor profiles around it. Then somewhere between then and now, it vanished from most kitchens outside Mexico. Why? Honestly, we're not sure, but modern chefs are bringing it back, and when you taste it, you understand why. Imagine cilantro, but much stronger, less soapy, more peppery, with an almost spicy, almost medicinal edge. The taste is intense. You use less, you get more. Papalo is ridiculously easy to grow. Start seeds indoors or direct seed. It prefers warmth, 65 degrees Fahrenheit minimum, happier at 70-75 degrees Fahrenheit, 21 Celsius. Space plants 12 to 18 inches apart. Papalo gets huge, not tall necessarily, but wide. Those giant leaves mean it wants room to sprawl. Water consistently. Give it full sun or part shade. It actually tolerates shade better than most herbs. Timeline to harvest? 30 to 45 days from seed to usable leaf size. Once established, the plant keeps producing. Traditional Mexican medicine used Papalo for digestive support. It's nutrient-dense, high in vitamins A and C, contains minerals like iron and calcium. Growing Papalo means you're not just growing an herb, you're recovering something that made sense in ancient kitchens.
Number 2, Borage, the blue star flower herb. If you want to stop a conversation, grow borage. The flowers are literally unquestionably blue. They're edible and beautiful. And they're everywhere because borage is a pollinator magnet. You'll have bees, butterflies, everything. Borage comes from the Mediterranean. It disappeared from most modern gardens, but it's one of those plants that's never actually left. It just went underground. Now it's showing up on restaurant plates again, on fancy cocktails, in salads at upscale farms-to-table restaurants. The leaves taste like cucumber with a subtle mineral, almost grassy undertone. Works fresh in salads. The flowers taste slightly sweet, a little floral, totally surprising if you're not expecting them. Borage is almost impossible to kill. Direct seed or start indoors. Prefers full sun but tolerates part shade. Space plants 12 to 18 inches apart. Here's the key. Borage gets bushy and substantial. Water consistently. Once established, it's fairly drought tolerant. Timeline, 40 to 60 days from seed to flowering, but you can harvest leaves earlier. The plant gets hairy, fuzzy stems and leaves. Some people find this off-putting until they taste it. The leaves themselves contain compounds similar to those in the seeds, though in lower concentrations. Traditional herbalists use borage for respiratory support and to support emotional resilience during stress. Borage is beautiful and medicinal and edible and a pollinator plant. You grow one plant and you get 4 benefits. Number 3, Epazote, the forbidden Aztec spice. Epazote looks wrong. The leaves are deeply jagged, almost violent looking. If you didn't know it was food, you'd think it was a weed to pull out. Epazote is deeply Aztec. Like Papalo, it was built into Mexican food.
And also like Papalo, it nearly disappeared from modern cooking, at least outside Mexico. Chefs rediscovering pre-Columbian Mexican cuisine are finding epazote again. The flavor is impossible to describe without tasting it. Sharp, almost gasoline-like in intensity, which sounds terrible until you taste it in the right context. Citrusy, peppery, with an edge that's almost floral. You use small amounts, a little goes a long way. It's used in Mexican cooking in beans, specifically. It actually reduces gas production in beans, which is why traditional recipes used it. Epazote is warm-natured, needs 65 degrees Fahrenheit minimum, happier at 70-80 degrees Fahrenheit. It's native to Mexico, so it loves warmth. Direct seed or start indoors. Space plants 12 inches apart. Water regularly, but let it dry between waterings slightly. 35 to 50 days from seed to usable leaf size. Once established, harvest outer leaves continuously. The plant keeps producing all season in warm conditions. Traditional use in beans, reducing digestive gas, is actually backed by research. Compounds in epazote called ascaridyls have been studied for antimicrobial and antiparasitic properties. More recent research suggests epazote has anti-inflammatory compounds. Studies on related plants in the same family show potential for digestive support and antimicrobial activity. Epazote looks too strange, tastes too intense, doesn't fit modern supermarket herb aesthetics. But that's the entire point. These plants work exactly because they're strong.
Number 4. Lovage, the giant forgotten celery herb. Plant lovage and people will ask, what is that? It grows like a small tree, 3-4 feet tall potentially. Massive leaves that look like giant celery leaves, thick herbaceous stems. Lovage is from the Mediterranean. Then modern agriculture simplified everything. Lovage got forgotten because it's too big, too productive, doesn't fit in the standardized spice container logic. Fine dining chefs are rediscovering it because one plant produces an absolutely insane amount of harvestable material. The flavor is intense, celery-like, but richer, more complex, almost herbal savory with undertones that remind you of parsnip. It's assertive but not aggressive, works in soups, stocks, braised vegetables, anything savory. Lovage is ridiculously easy to grow and takes years to fully appreciate. Start from seed or transplant, prefers full sun but tolerates part shade. Space plants 24 to 30 inches apart. This plant needs room, it gets big. Water consistently, it actually prefers slightly moist soil. 40 to 60 days from seed to first harvestable leaves, but this is a perennial. Once established, it comes back year after year for 10 plus years. Lovage has been studied for carminative properties, meaning it supports digestive comfort. Traditional herbalists used it for diuretic support. It's nutrient-dense, good source of vitamins A and C, minerals like potassium and magnesium. Lovage is a plant you plant once and harvest from for a decade. That's a long-term relationship. After the first season, you're essentially getting free herb production forever.
Number 5. Anise Hyssop, the licorice mint. Close your eyes and imagine an herb garden from 200 years ago. What does it smell like? Anise Hyssop. Purple flower spikes, attractive foliage, bees everywhere. Looks like something from an apothecary painting. Anise Hyssop is from North America originally, native to the western prairies. It's been used in traditional herbal medicine for centuries by indigenous peoples. It disappeared from modern gardens the same way the others did. Commercialization, standardization, forgetting. The taste is like anise, licorice forward, with mint undertones, sweet, aromatic, complex. Fresh in teas, desserts, or as a garnish. The flavor is unusual but immediately recognizable once you know what it is. Start from seed or transplant. Anise Hyssop prefers full sun. Space plants 18 to 24 inches apart. It gets bushy. Water regularly, but it's fairly drought tolerant once established. It takes 50 to 70 days from seed to flowering. The flowers are the real attraction. They're beautiful and edible. Pinch off flowering tops as they appear, encourages branching and more flowers. The plant produces continuously through the season. Traditional use was for respiratory support and digestive comfort. Modern studies on related plants in the mint family confirm these traditional uses have biochemical basis. The flowers contain similar compounds to the leaves, making them both culinary and functionally interesting.
Now we are moving into a strange territory, the plants that make people say, wait, that's edible? Number 6, Culinary Chrysanthemum, the edible flower herb. Yes, this is where the list gets genuinely weird in the best possible way. Culinary chrysanthemum is from East Asia, primarily used in Chinese and Japanese cuisine.
It's been used in cooking and medicine for over 2,500 years. It's only lost to Western kitchens because Western kitchens never really had it. But in East Asia, it never went away. Now Western fine dining is discovering it, and the reaction is always the same: shock, then delight. The flavor is floral, subtle, slightly bitter in an interesting way, not the harsh bitterness of some greens, but an elegant, refined bitterness. Works fresh in salads and teas as a garnish. In Asian cuisine, it's often brewed as a medicinal tea. Culinary Chrysanthemum is specific. You need the right variety. Regular ornamental mums are not the same. Look for edible chrysanthemum or shungiku, Japanese name. Start from seed or transplant. Prefers full sun but tolerates part shade. Space plants 12 to 18 inches apart. Water consistently. Timeline: 30 to 50 days from seed to flowering or harvestable leaf stage. Culinary Chrysanthemum contains compounds called flavonoids and polyphenols, antioxidants that help protect cells from damage. Modern research shows these compounds have anti-inflammatory properties. Traditional use was for clarity and calm. Modern studies on chrysanthemum tea show potential for cognitive support and stress response. The flowers are used in traditional Chinese medicine specifically for cooling and clarity. This plant represents something important: the difference between forgotten and never known in the first place. For Western kitchens, chrysanthemum is forgotten. For Eastern kitchens, it never left. Growing it connects you to that continuous tradition.
Number 7. Ajwain, the ancient Indian spice herb. Ajwain sounds made up. It looks like something between a weed and a legitimate herb. The leaves are tiny, feathery, almost inconspicuous, but the flavor is absolutely present. Also called bishop's weed, native to India and the Eastern Mediterranean, used in Indian cooking for centuries. In Ayurvedic medicine, it's considered essential. It nearly vanished from gardens everywhere because it doesn't photograph well, doesn't look impressive, and takes up minimal visual space. But the flavor and function? That's the entire point. Spicy, peppery, almost thyme-like, but with a sharp, almost medicinal edge. Some describe it as similar to oregano's intensity, but different character. Used in Indian cooking in breads, curries, vegetables. Small amounts, big impact. Start seeds indoors. Germination is slow, 10 to 14 days. Transplant into warm soil. Prefers full sun and well-draining soil. Space plants 8 to 10 inches apart. Water regularly, but don't overwater. Prefers slightly drier conditions. 60 to 90 days from seed to harvestable leaf stage. Slower than others on this list, but worth the wait. Once established, pinch leaves continuously. The plant keeps producing. Ajwain contains thymol, the same compound found in thyme that gives it antimicrobial properties. Traditional use in Ayurveda is for digestive support, respiratory clarity, and warmth in Ayurvedic terms. Modern research supports these uses. Studies show the essential oil has carminative properties and supports digestive function. In traditional Chinese medicine and Ayurveda, Ajwain is considered a warming herb, meaning it's used when people need energetic warmth, not necessarily temperature warmth. Ajwain is what ancient medicine understood. Intensity of flavor often correlates with intensity of function.
Number 8. Mitsuba, the Japanese forest herb. If Anise Hyssop and Lovage represent the robust apothecary garden, Mitsuba represents something different: the elegant, refined, shade-loving herb from deep forests. Mitsuba is Japanese. The name means 3 leaves. It has 3 leaflet foliage, similar to parsley. It's been used in Japanese cuisine for centuries. Fine dining in Japan considers it essential. It's only recently appearing in Western restaurants. When it does, the reaction is, "I didn't know this herb existed." It is delicate, parsley-like but more refined, slightly herbal, aromatic with subtle celery undertones, fresh and elegant. Used as a garnish in Japanese cuisine, in soups, in refined dishes where subtlety matters. Here's what's interesting. Mitsuba is shade-loving. It actually prefers partial shade. This is rare among culinary herbs. Start from seed or transplant. Seeds can be slow to germinate. Some people recommend soaking for 24 hours. Space plants 6 to 8 inches apart. Water consistently. It likes consistent moisture. 40 to 60 days from seed to harvestable foliage. Once established, pinch outer leaves. The plant keeps producing, especially in cool weather. This is the herb you grow where other herbs won't grow, under trees, on the north side of buildings, in partial shade spaces. It's the answer to, "I have shade, what can I grow?" Less studied in Western contexts than East Asian herbs, but traditional Japanese and Chinese medicine uses Mitsuba for digestive support and gentle detoxification. Contains volatile oils similar to parsley, aromatic compounds that support digestion. Like parsley, contains apigenin and other flavonoids with antioxidant properties. Mitsuba demonstrates that not all herbs need full sun. Not all herbs need to be aggressive. Some of the most valuable things are refined, subtle, shade-loving. That's a different kind of sophistication.
Number 9. Mexican Tarragon, the golden spice flower. Now we shift to something that looks nothing like a traditional herb. Mexican Tarragon is a flowering plant. Yellow flowers, looks almost like a miniature sunflower. Beautiful, almost ornamental. It's from Mexico, used in Mexican cuisine, especially in herbal preparations and traditional medicine. It's related to tarragon, but completely different in character. The leaves are peppery, slightly sweet, almost anise-like. The flowers are milder, slightly sweet, edible, and beautiful. Used in Mexican cuisine in teas, in traditional preparations, in cooking when a gentle warmth is needed. Start from seed or transplant. Prefers full sun but tolerates part shade. Space plants 12 to 18 inches apart. Water regularly but not obsessively, fairly drought tolerant once established. 50 to 70 days from seed to flowering. The flowers are the attraction, though the leaves are harvestable earlier. Deadhead flowers if you want to extend leaf production or leave them to enjoy the visual. Compounds similar to tarragon, including estradiol, give it antispasmodic properties. Traditional use was for digestive comfort and to support relaxation. Modern research on related plants suggests mild anxiolytic properties, meaning it may support calm and relaxation response.
Number 10. Houttuynia, the fish mint plant. Houttuynia looks alien. Heart-shaped leaves, variegated colors, usually green and red or purple. It looks like something from a different planet. It smells like fish, or fermented things, or something you're genuinely not sure about. And it's delicious. Houttuynia is from Southeast Asia, used extensively in Vietnamese, Thai, and Chinese cuisine. It's been in Asian medicine for thousands of years. Once you understand it, you get it, and you can't unget it. The smell is polarizing, fishy, fermented, almost funky, but the taste is completely different. Fresh, bright, citrusy with herbal complexity. Used in Vietnamese cuisine especially, in spring rolls, in soups, and raw vegetable preparations. The flavor is best when raw, fresh. Houttuynia is actually quite easy. Start from cuttings or transplant. Seeds are difficult. It prefers partial shade and consistent moisture. Actually tolerates wet conditions well, semi-aquatic, similar to water spinach. Space plants 12 inches apart. Timeline, 30 to 45 days from planting to harvestable foliage if starting from established cuttings. Once established, pinch leaves continuously. The plant produces aggressively. Some gardeners consider it invasive in warm climates. Houttuynia contains compounds called houttuyinoids and other volatile oils. Research shows antimicrobial and antifungal properties. Traditional use across Southeast Asia for respiratory support and immune support. Modern research on Houttuynia extract shows potential for antimicrobial activity against various pathogens. Studies in traditional Chinese medicine journals document use for clearing heat and toxins, language that translates to immune support and inflammatory response. Houttuynia is the plant that teaches you if something is used extensively in an entire culinary tradition, it's not there by accident.
Number 11. Summer Savory, the Roman kitchen herb. We're moving from interesting herbs to those with medicinal properties. Summer Savory is from the Mediterranean. The Romans cultivated it. Medieval herbalists considered it essential. The name literally means the herb of satyr, the plant associated with vitality and aliveness in Roman mythology. Peppery, slightly sharp, herbal without being aggressive. Similar to thyme in some ways, but with a different character, more spicy, less earthy. Used in cooking, especially with beans and root vegetables. Summer Savory is fast and easy. Start from seed or transplant. Prefers full sun. Space plants 10 to 12 inches apart. Water regularly, but not obsessively. Fairly drought tolerant once established. 40 to 60 days from seed to harvestable foliage. This is relatively quick. Pinch off leaves continuously. The plant keeps producing. Summer Savory has been studied for carminative properties, supporting digestive comfort. Contains carvacrol and thymol, compounds also found in oregano and thyme. Traditional use was specifically with beans to reduce digestive gas. This use is backed by research. Compounds in savory do support digestive function. Roman soldiers carried savory. Medieval herbalists prescribed it.
This consistency across centuries and cultures isn't folklore. It's practical knowledge that worked well enough to pass down.
Number 12, salad burnet, the cucumber-tasting herb. An herb that tastes like cucumber. Salad burnet is from Europe. Medieval gardens always included it. It was used in salads and infusions and medicinal preparations. It disappeared because modern agriculture decided cucumber should be a vegetable you buy, not an herb quality you grow. But here's what happened. Once you taste salad burnet, you understand how bizarre that decision was. The flavor tastes like cucumber. Fresh, green, crisp cucumber taste from an herb. The leaves are delicate, finely textured. Works fresh in salads, in cool drinks, in any preparation where you want cucumber flavor without actual cucumber bulk. Start from seed or transplant. Prefers full sun but tolerates part shade. Space plants 12 to 18 inches apart. Water regularly. The timeline is 40 to 60 days from seed to harvestable foliage. Here's the interesting part. Salad burnet is semi-perennial. Once established, it produces for years, not as long as lovage, but multiple seasons. Pinch leaves continuously. Pinching also prevents early flowering, extending the leaf harvesting period. Less studied in modern research than many herbs, but traditional use was for digestive support and mild wound healing. The leaves were used topically for minor cuts. Contains tannins, compounds that have astringent properties. These same compounds support skin healing and digestive function. Traditional herbalists used it for circulation support. This is the plant that shows us that sometimes a simple idea, what if we had the taste of something in herb form, is genuinely brilliant. Salad burnet answers that question perfectly.
Number 13, Perilla, the purple ancient herb. Perilla has deep purple leaves. Dramatic, striking, cinematic. It looks like something you'd paint. Perilla is from East Asia, used in Japanese, Korean, and Vietnamese cuisine, in traditional medicine across East Asia for centuries. Look at any serious chef working with Asian cuisines, Perilla is there. The flavor changes by region and use. In Japanese cuisine, it's subtle, slightly herbaceous, aromatic, used as a wrapper for foods, in sushi, delicate applications. In Korean cuisine, it's bolder. The leaves are grilled, used in wraps, more assertive flavor. In Vietnamese cuisine, it's one among many herbs in the mix. The actual flavor? Minty, slightly spicy, complex, not simple. Here is how to grow it. Start from seed or transplant. Prefers warmth, 65 degrees Fahrenheit minimum, happier at 70 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Prefers full sun. Space plants 18 to 24 inches apart. It gets substantial. Water regularly. Timeline, 50 to 70 days from seed to harvestable foliage. Flowers appear late in season. It contains a compound called perilladolhide, which gives it its distinctive aroma. Research shows antimicrobial and anti-inflammatory properties. Traditional use across East Asia for respiratory support, digestive comfort, and immune function. Studies specifically on Perilla show potential for supporting healthy inflammatory response and respiratory function. The purple pigmentation comes from anthocyanins, the same class of compounds that make blueberries blue and healthy. These are antioxidant compounds. Perilla is proof that visual beauty and functional value align. The complexity of flavor reflects its multiple bioactive compounds working together.
Number 14, toothache plant, the electric flower. This is the wait, what plant? Toothache plant is from South America, used in traditional medicine for literally what its name says, toothaches. But it does something strange. The flowers, and sometimes the leaves, contain a compound called spilanthes. When you put the flower on your tongue, your mouth goes numb, like a low-level anesthetic. Not painful, just electric, unusual. Then the sensation goes away. It's the most immediate physical sensation any herb on this list creates. You taste it and something actually happens in real time. Spicy, peppery, the tongue-numbing sensation is distinctive and surprising. The flavor itself is herbal, slightly bitter. Used in traditional medicine for exactly what the name suggests. Also used in modern herbal preparations for oral health. Start from seed or transplant. Warm-natured. Prefers 70 degrees Fahrenheit minimum, happier at 75 to 85 degrees Fahrenheit. Prefers full sun, space plants 12 inches apart. Water consistently. Timeline, 60 to 90 days from seed to flowering. The flowers are the functional part. Once flowering begins, the flowers are harvestable and immediately effective. Spilanthol is being studied for numbing properties and potential therapeutic applications. Traditional use for oral health is documented extensively. Modern research on spilanthol shows antimicrobial properties and potential benefits for oral health. The numbing sensation is caused by activation of sensory nerve receptors. Studies are ongoing for potential applications in natural anesthetics and pain management.
We end where herbalism always circles back to: the wild, the beautiful, the abundant, and the profound. Bee balm is from North America, native, used by indigenous peoples for centuries, brought into European gardens and became beloved by herbalists everywhere. The flowers are exploding fireworks, red, pink, purple, depending on variety. They're edible and beautiful. They attract pollinators obsessively: bees, hummingbirds, butterflies. Bee balm represents something complete: medicine, food, beauty, ecosystem service, and emotion all in one plant. Mint tea, slightly oregano-like, herbal, aromatic. The flowers are similar to the leaves but milder, slightly floral, used fresh in teas as garnish in beverages. The flavor is complex, but something between mint and oregano, and beyond both. Start from seed, transplant, or division. Prefers full sun but tolerates part shade. Space plants 18 to 24 inches apart. It gets bushy and substantial. Water regularly, but once established, fairly drought tolerant. The timeline, 60 to 90 days from seed to flowering. But here's the important part: bee balm is perennial. You plant it once, it comes back every year for a decade or more. After the first year, you have minimal work. Traditional use by indigenous peoples was for respiratory support and digestive comfort. This use is documented in historical records and ethnobotanical research. Modern studies on bee balm and related Monarda species confirm antimicrobial activity and potential for supporting respiratory function. The nectar supports pollinators. The plant is literally designed to feed bees and butterflies. That's not separate from its medicinal value. It's an indication of the plant's vitality. From ancient Aztec kitchens to modern Michelin-starred restaurants. From traditional medicine to modern research labs. From plants that look alien to plants that look like flowers. Pick a few plants from this list. Pick one that visually appeals to you: Papalo with its giant leaves, Borage with its blue flowers, or Epazote if you want something strange. Pick one that matches what you care about: Summer Savory if you cook with beans, Bee balm if you want something perennial and beautiful, or Toothache plant if you want something that actually does something immediate. Plant them next month. 3 months from now, you'll be harvesting. In 6 months, you'll understand that the grocery store spice aisle is a museum of forgetting, and you'll have left that museum behind. Right now, somewhere in the world, a chef is reaching for an herb that most people think doesn't exist. Soon, that might be you reaching for something growing in your garden, and then you'll understand what ancient kitchens knew. You'll cook differently, you'll understand flavor differently. You'll connect to history and medicine and ecosystem and beauty all at once. That's what these 15 plants offer. If you're not subscribed yet, hit that button now. Every week we post videos that show you how to grow things that connect you to something larger. Leave a comment. Tell me which one you're actually going to plant. Or if you already knew some, what do you like the most about them? Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.